I'm just getting everybody logged in. Just bear with me, okay? There's a lot of you coming. You guys all must have been in the AGLA meeting. Here you come. Tell me you guys can hear me.
Yes, Patty.
Yes, Patty.
That helps. Hi. I'm still letting people in. I'm getting all these comments. People are messaging me. Okay, sorry. Hi. How's everybody doing? Usually I get a couple of staggering questions from my team, and my team is all you guys, just so you know, left over from the AGLA webinar. So if you have questions, please feel free to ask me here. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Left over from the AGLA webinar. If you were not in the AGLA webinar, we can talk about what we talked about there, basically recognizing red flags, what to pay attention to, and how to listen for them. Okay, so that's what we talked about at AGLA today. I hope you're a member there and you got to see that. Does anybody have any questions left over from the red flag meeting with AGLA today? Because if you do, I want to address them.
Patty, I have one. It was
Yes.
a great webinar anyway. I really love it every time, you get, AGLA, very interesting. And I learned a lot from you. So
Good.
one question that, I like, is you require all the applicants or whatever, gonna live in an apartment to apply for the applications, correct?
18 or older.
Yeah, what is that for? If one applicant is already qualified, do we need to get the second one? And which, if in the future we need to get them evicted, and we're gonna get a trouble because we have a two heads, to be evicted.
You have to evict however many people are in the house.
Yeah, but if did not, put it in the
You didn't.
lease agreement,
If you
we
didn't,
can't just evict easily, right?
it makes it more difficult for you. Okay.
Oh,
Each adult 18 or older should apply. Okay. And I'll explain.
Okay.
Just work with me. Okay.
okay.
If you the adult 18 or older, what if you only have one application of dad? Okay. And mom.
You breaking up.
And mom, sister, and uncle also live there. Okay.
Okay.
Dad dies. Mom, sister, and uncle are still in possession, but you don't know their names. You don't have their dates of birth, their social security numbers. You don't know anything about them. See the problem?
Can
Now
we
you
get them
now
evicted?
you evict
sorry.
them, can evict them, but you don't have any information to go after their credit or the money they owe.
Oh, I see.
Each adult 18 or older must apply. Some people say, oh, well, I have a disabled something. Okay, well, they have a power of attorney. Their power of attorney can fill out their application.
I see. Got it
I
now.
mean, each adult 18 or older apply. Why? Because I want to name as many people as I can in that eviction. I want to take them all down. The cosigner, everybody. Got it?
So Patty,
If I didn't originally run their credit, it's really hard for me to put a ding on their credit later.
okay. I have a question. If we have 3 people in that household and only one is the first applicant is qualified, or meet, our criteria, but to other adults, they're not. So what should we do here? Do we just,
Depends
reject
on,
them?
hold on. It depends on how you wrote your criteria. Does each individual applicant need to meet the criteria, or are they applying as a whole?
Oh,
Okay. So it has to do with what you put out in your own criteria. Does each applicant need to qualify? Because if so, they all need to qualify. If they don't, their application's denied. If a husband and wife live together, okay, and she stays at home and he works, you can't deny her for not having any income. She's a homemaker. So you treat them combined, yes? Because you cannot deny because she doesn't have a job. Her income is through her husband. Make sense?
okay.
And because they're married, you can't discriminate against them.
And she also needs to apply no
If
matter
they're
what.
not married, you can. Got it?
Oh, okay. Okay, now I understand. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you.
Problem. This is what I'm here for, you guys. Pick my brain. Flag meeting. Yes. Can you please review quickly? I wasn't able to attend today. Yes, I will review quickly. There are lots of red flags going on. Pay attention to them. Listen, do less talking and more listening. They'll probably give you enough rope to hang them with when they're verbal vomiting at you. So listen to what they're saying. Take out all the cursing, of course, put a filter on it and just see if you can pick out what they're saying. Usually they give you enough info to hang them with if you just be quiet and listen. That's a hard thing for me to do. 3 things if you guys, every day, if they're asking for additional trash cans, they have additional occupants. If you have a smell complaint, you're probably chasing a dead body. No joke. Could be a critter, most likely human. Dissatisfaction with the property, stop chasing ghosts, you guys. A lot of tenants need to get out of their lease, and how they get out of it is start having you chasing ghosts, telling you about repairs that aren't repairs and things that are broken that aren't broken, and you feel like you're chasing ghosts. That's when you need to ask them, I'm sorry that you're unhappy living here. Did you want to give me a 30-day notice? Well,
Patty,
actually, now
I'm
that you
sorry.
mentioned, I do. What's up?
When you do that, if they're on a lease, how do you handle that?
I didn't tell them I would allow them to break their lease. What I asked them is if they wanted to give me a 30-day notice to vacate. They're still responsible for the lease term or until I re-rent the property.
Okay, thank you.
I don't talk about that.
Mhm.
And I keep that part quiet. What I asked them is if they wanted to give me a 30-day notice. I didn't say I'm going to break their lease. I didn't say we won't hold you to your lease. I didn't say any of that. What I said was, did you want to give me a 30-day notice?
Mhm.
I don't bring up the fact that they're in a term. I don't talk about that. And then if they say, yes, actually I do, my job moved, then I know, oh, I'm chasing ghosts because they need to get out of their contract. I should probably stop doing that. So it kind of just tells me what the scenario is so that I'm not chasing those ghosts. And then work with the tenant, you guys. If they're coming to you and they want to leave, they are in a position of power to make this a nightmare for you in an eviction matter. If they're willingly trying to get out, help them. Don't hurt them. They could make this a nightmare for you. I'm just saying, if they want to go, wave, let them. Bye-bye. Yes, I can charge you. Yes, I can hold you to the term. I may decide to let you out of it just so you go quietly into the night. Case by case basis. Got it? If this person is very litigious and you don't want to get in a legal battle with them, let them go. It's up.
Patty,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
If they really want to go, I'm really happy to let them go. But
Me-
there is one, the tenant that we have is like, they've been living here for 30 years. The rent is under the fair market rent, and all the things, what they do is complain and complain and complain because they try not to pay rent. Of course, they're not going to move. It's only $1,300 for the 2-bedroom and 1 bath.
Happy
So-
living. Want to give me a 30-day notice today? It kind of sets the precedence of stop having me chase ghosts. I'm not going to do it anymore.
You know what the thing, like this one time they complained about the window, and we got, the window guy came and then they said, oh, you know what, I can fix that. But the thing, what their mind, they want to get, really new window. And then the wife was got so mad, I live, underneath them, okay, the unit. I could hear she banged the window. I was like, what the heck? Oh man.
In the event they want something repaired or upgraded that doesn't need repair and they want it upgraded, you can allow them to do the upgrade at their own expense.
Okay, I don't think they will do that one.
In here, I don't want carpet I want hardwood flooring. The carpet I'm allergic to, I can get a note from my doctor. What you're saying is you're asking for a reasonable modification of the property based on a disability. I'd be more than happy to allow you to change the flooring at your expense. So learning what those things are will help you determine whether or not you want to do them. Don't remodel the house because of the tenant. Okay, I'm just saying. It doesn't do you any good. Is there anything important else that was in that meeting other than watching those red flags and paying attention to them? And listening them? What else did you guys get out of there? If a tenant ever asks you when they're screening the property and you don't tell them you're the landlord, maybe you're the leasing agent, maybe you're the landlord, I don't know. But at some point, if they ask you where you live or where the landlord lives, your answer is next door. Okay, got it? The answer is the landlord lives next door. Always. The answer is the landlord lives next door. Why does somebody care where the landlord lives?
I got your point.
Where does the landlord live? Right next door? Oh, you're the landlord? Where do you live? Next door? Right next door. Anytime you get asked that question, that is your response. There is a reason why they are asking you this. Got it? I hope that clicked. What's my other one that's really, really bad? Where does the landlord live? That was a good one. Oh, I need to move in right away. This is an emergency. When is the unit ready? Is it ready today? If they're looking to rent a property and they're driving around in a U-Haul, avoid them. Okay. All right. Do we have more questions? Because that's why I'm here today, is for your questions.
Patty, do you get suspicious if a person comes and tells you, I want to rent, and you ask him, how much is your income? 15,000, 20,000, where your rent is only, let's say 15 or 1,800. I mean, sometimes I feel uncomfortable. Why this person with all this money wants to rent? Is it why they don't buy a house or something? I mean, what do you think?
So you have the same mentality I do, because we think, why would they do that? Why would they do this? Why would you rent a house if you make 20 grand a month? Why would you rent? There are some people that do rent houses that make 20 grand a month. But for the most part, they're renting full service apartment communities with helicopter pads on the roof and dog walkers and valet parking and things of that nature. Understand? They are not renting an $1,800 apartment in the middle of downtown LA. So my theory is they're probably going to use it for human trafficking, but that's just the way my brain works. I also question when you have one applicant that wants to rent a 4-bedroom house. Why? I always ask, what do you need 4 bedrooms for? If it's just you, why do you need 4 bedrooms? Nothing wrong with me asking that. Oh, well, I'm going to have roommates later. No, they would all need to apply right now. Doesn't work that way. Sorry. If you have someone in their 20s or so and they're looking to rent a 2 or 3 bedroom house, why? And you're right. If you have somebody that makes 20 grand a month, why do they want to rent an $1,800 house? They're not going to live in it. You know this. Who are they moving in there? And for what reason? So those kinds of questions is how I need you to start looking at these applications. It's not, oh, they say they make this money. They say they do this. They say they do that. They're blah, 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 blah. slow down, slow way down. Okay, we have to approach this cautiously. And think about what they're saying to you. Patty, I have a tenant who wants to make upgrades to the apartment. She is willing to pay for the work and would like me to bring my contractor. Is there an agreement or form I can use to protect myself in case this project becomes larger than expected? If building code requires more work after they start the project, I don't want to be responsible for that. Hi, Erin. She wants to make upgrades to the property. Then I'd ask, is it your, let me read that again, because my question is it your contractor or her contractor? It's your contractor, okay? It's your contractor. So that's a little more power. You're allowing the modification. Did you have the insurance of your contractor? And are you listed as an interested party or additional insured on his policy? Because in the event he does something wrong and it requires additional work, you would sue his insurance company. Got it? Okay. Or file a claim against his insurance. Ah, okay. That's how you protect you, okay? And then I want to make sure that you understand that this tenant, if you allow a modification, and let me give you an example. A lot of people don't understand this. You rented to them and they have carpet. They ripped up the carpet. They want hardwood flooring. I'm sorry, I know I'm using your example, Erin, I apologize. And now they've created a problem and it's a sound barrier and it's an issue, okay? Let's say that that didn't happen and you allowed them to put in flooring because they were allergic to dust in the carpet and blah, 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 okay? Hold on. And they want to change the flooring because they have an allergy. They can do that at their own expense using your contractor with your written permission. When they move out, if it's based on a disability, technically they have to put it back. If it's a better upgrade than what you had, don't make them put it back. That's just dumb. Okay, so let me tell you about this. I managed a property once for a very needy tenant for the landlord, okay? Tenant was already in place. He hired us because she became a Klingon. No joke. She was a high dollar tenant and had high dollar income and wanted a high dollar house. It was the neighborhood that she wanted to be in. So she started doing all kinds of upgrades to that property and she asked for permission for each one. She put in granite countertops and travertine floors. She put in crown molding. She upgraded the cabinetry. She remodeled that house to make it exactly the executive home that she wanted it to be. 6 months after she was done with all of these upgrades, the owner decided to sell. He offered it to her first, but she didn't want to pay market value. He ended up evicting her because she didn't get out. He ended up making $600,000 more on that house than he would have with her upgrades. And it was all legal. She asked, he allowed. We all want the tenant that wants to remodel our house at their expense. We all want that. They are few and far between, let me tell you. All right, let me see what other questions I have. I don't like the bond company thing. Val likes the bond better than the insurance because she could collect better that way. I like being listed as additional insured or interested party, and there's a reason why. It's because I can file a claim for myself against their policy. So sometimes that helps. It isn't always available. A lot of insurance companies won't do it in California anymore. So if they won't do it, then go the bond route. Okay, bonds work too. bonds work too. Just so you guys know, I will be at the AGLA trade show at the end of this month in May. I want to say it's a Tuesday. I want to say it's the 22nd or the 23rd. Don't hold me to that. My problem is I go overnight deep sea fishing the weekend before, the day before. So if you guys see me and I have sea legs still, give me a break, okay? It's the 23rd. Thank you, Arlene. I will be there with bells on and sea legs. Most likely, because I am going fishing the day before. Roofers will add you. Great. Yes. It's in Pasadena at the Pasadena Convention Center. It's entirely free to attend. There's going to be a lot of good information there. There usually is. AGLA's yes, I'm going fishing on an overnight boat out of China Islands. No, not China Islands. That's in Big Bear. Channel Islands. That's in, yeah, I'm going out of the Channel Islands. How does it work instead of the insurance? Val will tell us, yes, I'm going to the Channel Islands, and you caught that right away. I emailed you on Friday and yesterday. Can we talk later or after this meeting? Thanks. Arlene, call me at about 5:30. No joke. That's how my day's going. Just so you guys know, it is fair season and I am a chairman at the San Bernardino County Fair. So on top of all of these webinars and trade shows, I'm also dealing with trying to get the fair going. And then on Monday, I got in a car accident. Like I needed more on my plate. I don't think I have a plate anymore. I think I have a platter. Lucky me. Yeah, I know, right? Let me tell you, a Prius stopped on the freeway in front of me. And the Nissan Sentra in front of me hit the Prius. And then I hit them both. It was me. I did it. Oops. That's why they call them accidents, right? Like I needed to add things to my my life isn't full enough. Let me go cause some problems in it. Sorry. I know I'm kind of an ass sometimes, most of the time. I will tell you this, Val, and some of our male attendees will appreciate this. I did go get my nails done this weekend and I had them painted like fishing lures. So in the event I fall in, I can just wiggle my fingers and attract all the fishies. Larso tenant has a new roommate, not on the lease. She's a great tenant and has asked how she can get rid of the roommate legally. Any suggestions? She can evict a subtenant, but you're in Larso, so she's gonna have to follow the same laws you do. Ouch. Larso, so Larso governs her. She wants to pay her to get out. She's gonna have to pay her the $23,000 required in relocation fees in Larso to get her out. Oh. Your subtenant, your subleaser, your sublessor is about to find out what it's like to be a landlord in Larso. And you can't do anything about it, just so you know, because you can't do evictions for unauthorized occupants or unauthorized pets until after January of next year. I believe it's February 1st before you can do something about it because of the COVID pandemic. So you can't do anything about her unauthorized occupant. She can find a cause to evict her, maybe non-payment of rent or a material breach of the lease, but she has to follow Larso's guidelines just like you do. Ouch. Thank you, Arlene. Yes, Larso, February 1st. Actually, I think it's January 31st, 2024. Yeah. February 1. And I believe the accounting that we have to do because of COVID goes until October of 2025. Meaning if they pay you funds, you have to apply it in this month, and then any overages go to future months. Nothing goes in the arrears unless they put it in writing. We have a bunch of owners right now in the LA area that are taking in the rents for May, April and May and applying them to the arrears so they can evict for April and May non-payment. I'm like, no, try again. That don't work. Try again. Anybody have anything else? I raised a few rents. Yay, Val. When you raise rents, don't forget it comes with repair requests. They go hand in hand together. Serve them a curable breach of covenant to pay that deposit increase. You did the increase, now serve them a cure or quit for not paying that increase. And then you can give them a quit notice and evict if they don't pay the increase. Got it? So you're gonna do a cure or quit for the balance of the deposit that was not paid. Can we evict now? Do we have to serve a pre-notice first? LA City built in 03, not a legal unit, office only. So it's commercial. Understand? I didn't rent to her. I inherited her from another person. I evicted, rented. I inherited her from another person. I evicted, rented. She did pay $150 until 2016. SGE, violating all things smoking, spreading junk. You might be able to do a 3-day quit if she's living in something that isn't a rental property, but she could sue you back for rent that she's paid. So it could be a little tricky. You can contact our office and give us the address and we can help you go from there. That's fast evict, just so you know. That's where I work. Larso, when can we do the June SCEP increase? I have to check, but I'm pretty sure you can do that in June. Do not, if your things for June, I'll find out. I believe it's timely. You can't do any rent increases though, just your SCEP fees. Just so you know. And I was trying to explain to people in the meeting today, if you have a single family residence and you're in LA County and you're exempt from statewide rent control and you're not in a city that has additional provisions, here's what I'm going to say to you. If you're not governed by LARSO and you're not governed by DCBA and you're not governed by LAHD, you are. If you're in LA County and you have a single family residence exempt from everything, you're now governed by somebody. And if you want to take your house back, even though you're exempt, you're going to have to pay 1 month's rent as a relocation fee and give them 60 days, even if they have been there for less than a year. I wanted to say that in the meeting today so badly, and I can't. I can only give them this much info. Does that make sense to you guys? If you are in LA County and you have a single family home exempt from the Tenant Protection Act, so you have nothing that governs you, you do now. If you want to terminate tenancy in LA County, you do now. You don't just get to give a 60-day, sorry, we're exempt, or a 30-day, sorry, we're exempt. It doesn't work in the county of LA anymore. You are not exempt. You will be giving them a 60-day and you will be paying their last month's rent as a relocation fee, even if you're exempt. Yuck, I know. Patty, I am fairly new at this. Can you please lead me to a resource to check and improve my rental contract? Yes, absolutely. What apartment association do you belong to? And if you say, oh, I don't belong to any apartment association, I have a house, it's not an apartment, I'm going to let you know that they are there for you. Apartment association is just the name of what they do. They help landlords manage investment property, whether it be a single family residence or an apartment. So I'm going to ask, are you a member of AGLA? Are you a member of California Apartment Association, Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles? Are you a member of none? Okay, contact AGLA, aagla.org, aagla.org. Okay, AGLA is the Apartment Association of Greater Los Angeles. I teach a lot of courses for them. They have all of your documents, your lease forms, your notices, your addendums, your criteria schedule, all of that. They're there to help you. So joining AGLA is a very important thing. It is the best asset to have in your arsenal of tools. If you have just one or two rentals, AGLA works great. And they provide you a plethora of education, a plethora of resources, and a plethora of knowledge. If you call AGLA and mention to them that you are a member of Widget's Way, they will give you a discount on your membership, just so you know. But that's who you would get all your lease docs from and all your forms and all your documentation. And then if you needed help putting together a lease package, I would be more than happy to help assist you with that. No problem. Larso, Larso, elderly tenant wants to install a lift up the stairs. The owner has decided not to agree due to the liability of work, but would like to offer money to move. No and no. You got it? The owner has to allow the work to be done. This is based on a disability. So what you tell the tenant is we'd be more than happy to allow you to make a modification to the property based on your disability. If the owner doesn't do it, they're gonna get sued. Got it? It's discrimination against someone with a disability. That's an ADA lawsuit waiting to happen. So with that being said, the owner must allow it at the tenant's expense. I understand what you're telling me, but listen, the tenant can install that lift and hire a contractor. The tenant also has to pay to remove that and put it back to normal when they vacate. I'm sure your tenant doesn't want to pay thousands of dollars to a contractor to install this contraption. And they don't want to pay thousands of dollars to put it back when they vacate. So that's the conversation I would have with the tenant. Yes, of course we'll allow you to make the modification. They also have to pay to put it back when they vacate. Okay, the VA denied it. He's elderly, not disabled. The VA denied his claim. So what, he's going to pay for it out of his pocket? How much is it? Our cranky vet never cleans up his weeds. Kern fines you if your weeds aren't cut. They have served him 3 days before and contacted his daughter. I don't want to evict him over the weeds, but his yard is quite ugly. If you get a notice from the city, you can give him a 3-day to quit. I understand you don't want to evict him, so here's what you do. You serve him another notice telling him that you're going to do it for him and then send him the bill. And he has until this date to do it. Otherwise, you will hire someone to do it and he will be responsible for the bill. Got it? It's probably how it's going to work. If he's a vet, he's busy. He doesn't have time. He doesn't care. Doesn't want to deal with it. Understand? You're going to give him the opportunity to correct it and then notify him that if he doesn't, you're going to do it for him and send him the bill. Then he needs to pay the bill. If he doesn't pay the bill, you can evict him for not paying the bill or deduct it from his security deposit when he vacates. The choice is yours. Okay. Does anybody have anything else? I'm excited about the 23rd. I'm going to have sea legs. So Arlene, when I see you there, if I'm wobbling, you laugh at me, okay? When can I raise the rent in LA County? Oh, sorry. When can I raise the rent in LA City, SCEP only? Your SCEP fees, I think, are in June. I'm going to see if you can do that. I'm going to check with the attorney for your June SCEP fees. As far as a rent increase, not until next year, June. Yep, SCEP fees are in June. I think they come out in April to be implemented in June, but I didn't want to quote that because my head's cloudy. Does that make sense? When you guys ask me a question, I answer you solidly. If I don't have the solid answer because I can only hold so much in this little area, I tell you I'm not sure because I don't like to mislead people. When somebody tells me something, I want to take that as a fact. And if you guys are coming to me, I want to be dropping you facts. So don't get frustrated with me when on the fly, I can't answer a specific. I got to go look it up. Oh no, am I invisible to Patty? No, I see you now, Tony. Your question might have got missed. Hold on, Tony. Let me go backwards. Where are you? Where are you? Tony. There you are, Tony. I found you. I have a problem tenant in the unincorporated area of LA County in East LA. They owe March 2020 rent, July, August 2022 rent, April 22 rents. When should I give them a demand letter? You can let them know that they need to make arrangements to pay it and you can make a payment plan. Yes, they're not going to ever be evicted on this, Tony. On the monies that are owed during the COVID pandemic, they do have till the end of August of 2023 to pay that money, but you will never be able to evict them. Why, Patty? Why? Because you can only go back 12 months on a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit, not any further. By the time it comes time for you to pull the trigger, 12 months will have passed and you cannot put that on a 3-day notice. They set this up by design intentionally. I'm not frozen. I'm just telling you guys, they set this up by design. They designed it so we could never evict them for the COVID money. We could only sue in small claims court. No joke. Ouch. So what's the point of giving them until August 2023? So small claims if they do not pay? Yes, small claims if they do not pay. The point of giving them until August of 2023 is that you can only go back 12 months on a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit. So if I go back in August of 2023 and it's for a time period that's more than 12 months ago, I can't evict them. Because that's exactly what they did. And yes, you can sue in small claims, but here's the next kick me in the shins. Starting September 1st of this year, we can't do wage garnishments unless they make more than $41 an hour. The reality of that is people that make more than $41 an hour are homeowners, not tenants. They're taking away our tools. They're taking away our recourse. Okay? We are going to be quick to evict. We are going to remove our grace periods going forward. And our rent will be due on the 1st, late on the 2nd, so we can start eviction immediately because we have no recourse. When a tenant calls us and says, hey, my car broke down, I'm going to be 3 weeks late on my rent this month. I'm sorry, I have no choice but to put you in eviction. Once you get paid, you may be able to buy out of the eviction. Please let us know. Got it? Okay. I missed your question, Arlene. I'll go back. Thank you. Arlene. If we can do skip fee in June, do I have to do we have to do a 30-day notice? Most likely, yes. It's always a 30-day change in terms of tenancy on the skip fee. Was that the question, Arlene? But most likely a 30-day, yes. Yeah. Okay. And Teresa, I missed my question about eviction non-paying since 17 skip built in 2003, not legal unit by city. This is just an office. If it's just an office and it's not a legal dwelling, I would evict her out of the commercial space. Call your legal counsel. And this is me talking to you, okay? There's 2 ways you could do this, okay? You could do it a tenancy at will in a commercial space because you didn't rent them an illegal unit. You didn't charge them rent in an illegal unit, right? So I would do it as a commercial space. I inherited her from someone. Tell her it's time for her to go. This isn't a legal dwelling and she's not allowed to live here. It would be horrific if someone, not you, reported to code enforcement that someone was illegally living in I don't know what they're living in, the laundry room, a storage facility, something. But if you do it, it's retaliation. If somebody else does it, it is not. And if you get a letter from code enforcement telling you that's not a habitable dwelling and not fit to live in, that's the document you need to give her a quit. But I would talk to your legal counsel. It's an office. It's a nice office. No, it's a commercial dwelling. It's an office. It's a commercial dwelling. Commercial doesn't have any protections where you're speaking of. You understand? Oh. If it was rented to her as a commercial space, not a residential dwelling, in the original contract, they let her stay there commercially, not to live in. Call your legal counsel and ask them. They're going to point you in the best direction. My thing is I want to get away from all the bureaucracy and BS. So how do I do that in an LA skep? It's commercial. Residential laws don't apply. It's commercial. It was rented to her as commercial because it's not an apartment. She can't live in it. There's no kitchen. I'm thinking outside of the building, not outside of the box. Ask your legal counsel. It's a stretch. On a 3-day notice, one can't go back more than 30-day rent due. Can you go over that again? This is California law. on a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit in California under California law, under Civil Process and Procedure 1162.2, I believe it is. But maybe I got the number wrong. Might be 1161.7. I'm gonna have to go look. Regardless, you can only go back 12 months on a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit. Example, if you want to evict right now in the city of San Bernardino, and I said that because it's not LA County. And you want to go backwards, today is May, you can only ask for rents going backwards 12 months. So if you're asking for May, you can only go back as far as June of last year, not May. Got it? You can only put 12 months of rent on a 3-day notice. You can only go back 12 months. You can't go back 13. Okay. That's what I mean of you will never be able to evict for the COVID rents ever. Because by the time they're due and payable, 12 months have gone by. Oh, now I get it, Patty. I heard a light bulb come on right through the Zoom. How do you check? How do you collect the old rent then? Who asked me that? Let me look. Jay Tour. Jay, are you looking at me? Understand? They set this up by design. Once it becomes due and payable, you can sue them in small claims court and get a judgment against them. Whether you will be able to collect on that judgment is another set of facts. They need to make more than $41 an hour in order for you to collect on the judgment. So what is Patty telling you to do? Talk to your CPA, write it off on your taxes. Yep, straight up, Val. She knows. Talk to your CPA, write it off on your taxes. It is a loss. Skip is a 30-day notice to change the terms of tenancy. Yes. Do you get it monthly or the year of skip? They usually break it down monthly as a monthly expense, plus $3.33 per month. Skip fee. It's garbage, but take your $4. Any other questions? I just realized I need to eat something. When I took a sip of that drink, I realized I haven't eaten all day. It's starting to yell at me. Hi, Patty. San Bernardino single family home. The tenant is supposed to move out on 5/20. I reached out to ask if they wanted a pre-move out inspection, and the tenant said, I caught up on my rent. I thought we agreed. A notice to terminate tenancy was served. Does the tenant have any rights not to turn over possession? Are we headed to eviction? CPI always comes out in April. This year it is not moving. It has happened, the CPI, just so you know. Roadrunner, I'm working on it. It's processing in the blondness right now. Did the tenant put in writing to you that they were vacating on this day, whatever day you said? You have it in writing with a pen and paper, pen. Oh, you served a 60-day. Okay, hold on. You served a 60-day. Let me read it again. They're supposed to move out on 5/20. I reached out to ask if they wanted a pre-move out inspection. You need to put that in writing, your pre-move out inspection. Send them a request for a pre-move out inspection. Don't call them on it. Put it in the mail. Trust me. And the tenant said, I caught up on my rent. I thought we agreed. A notice to terminate tenancy was served. No. Did you waive their last month's rent as a relocation fee? Because you didn't talk about the Tenant Protection Act. If they're exempt from the Tenant Protection Act and they're not out on 5/20, on 5/21, you start eviction, but don't take rent over 20 days. Did they pay May's rent in full? Help me. Oh, here's all the rest of the notes. I didn't scroll down. So did they pay the rent for May? And what was the reason on this? Is it exempt from the TPA? You said no, it's not exempt from the TPA. Can you unmute yourself? It would be so much easier.
Hey, Patty.
No rent and it's not exempt. Did you waive the last month's rent as a relocation fee?
No.
Then your notice is invalid. Start over.
Why? They're not covered by the TPA.
So you have an exemption in place.
Yes. The rent cap and just cause, we served a 60-day for always paying late. The owner has decided to end tenancy. So that notice was served back in March and the tenant does not want to leave because his parents are in town.
Serve them the 3-day notice for non-payment of rent from the 1st to the 20th. If they didn't pay you May's rent,
Perfect, thank you.
start eviction. So what just happened is she told me what was going on. She wonders, are we gonna have to evict? And I'm telling her how to get to eviction faster. See how that worked? Because yes, she is. He is not gonna vacate. I meant from CAA. Okay, Tony, I'll go back and look and see what you're talking about. Hang on. Oh, there you are. Hi, I received this email from the CAA. Do you know anything about it? Unincorporated County of Los Angeles Proactive Rental Inspection Program. Oh yeah, they passed this bullshit. Sorry. This is HDLA. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's not LARSO. It's not DCBA. It's LAHD. This is part of LAHD, Los Angeles Housing Department. Got it? Okay, that's what this is. Yes. They proposed ordinance is largely based off the city. Yes, they took the city of LA's, and I told you guys months ago, it's spreading like cancer. Okay. Now you know what I'm talking about. It is spreading like cancer. People are taking the city of Los Angeles's very strict rent control and they're implementing it in places like Pomona, Inglewood, Pasadena, Claremont. You understand? It's happening everywhere. And now they're trying to put up the REAP accounts for the county. So you guys need to be paying attention on what's going on. Because if anybody can talk to you about REAP in this room, it's going to be Tony. So let me tell you guys what REAP is. Okay. The tenant, the house is uninhabitable. It's not fit to live in. It needs all these repairs. Okay. They call REAP. REAP comes out and looks at the property. They call the housing department. They say, oh yes, you need all kinds of repairs. You need new flooring, new window coverings, new paint, new plumbing, new piping, new plumbing, new piping. You paying attention? And they say, okay. So then what they do is they act as a bank and the tenant pays the rent to them and they hold it hostage until you do the repairs. And then because it wasn't habitable, the tenant doesn't owe rent during that time period. So REAP holds your house hostage against you. How are you supposed to do repairs if you don't have any income? Oh, is this another way for the government to steal your investment property from you? Yes, Tony, you're exactly correct. What these municipalities are doing is they're picking up LA City's BS rent control and implementing it in their own city. Are you guys aware that Inglewood now has a rent registry just like the city of Los Angeles? And you have to register your units with the city of Inglewood. And they now have a housing department that's dedicated to dealing with all of this. Okay. It's spreading like cancer, you guys. LA City's very strict rent control ordinance is spreading like cancer. And thank you, Tony, for reminding me to remind them that we now have a REAP initiated throughout the county. The county, not just the city. When collecting, is that $41 an hour for all tenants? Each tenant. If you're garnishing their wages, it's one tenant. So if you want to garnish their wages, they have to make more than $41 an hour. If they don't, you can't touch them. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. Sorry. All right, are you guys good? I think I'm good. I'm gonna get off of here unless anybody, REAP. It's the real estate, we have it up there, REAP, R-E-A-P, you got the acronym right. It's the Rent Escrow Account Program. So if your house is uninhabitable, the Rent Escrow Account Program will commandeer your rents coming in so that you don't get them and force you to make the repairs in the property before they release those funds back to you. Is everybody's eyes like this big right now? Because they're going, what is she talking about? Look it up. Tony knows what she's talking about. REAP is now initiated throughout Los Angeles County. So if the government agency decides that your unit is uninhabitable, the county, that's the part you're missing. It's not in individual cities that have REAP, it's the entire county of LA. The housing department is overseeing it. REAP, R-E-A-P, Rental Escrow, it's Rent Escrow Account Program. Rent Escrow Account Program. And what they do is they go out there and inspect, tell you what you need to do, and then notify you that your tenant's rents are now being held in REAP. Rent, escrow, whatever I just said. They hold the tenant's rent. The tenant now pays the rent to the city, to the county, to REAP, and they hold your rent money hostage until you make all those repairs.
And Patty, I went
It's
through
both
that.
the city and the county now.
Yeah, Patty, and once it goes to RIP, it's very hard. Even after you remove the violations and fix everything, it's very hard. Takes the sweet time to come back and help you reinspect and get you out.
Yeah, they're not in a hurry to help you reinspect and get you out of REAP, are they? They're sure in a hurry to put you in it, but when it comes time to release you, it's not a quick process. County of LA, the entire county. So it could happen in Torrance. Yes, now everybody's getting it. It's clicking. Okay, good. That's why during my meetings, sometimes I'll take off my glasses and go, big eyes, are you paying attention? Are you listening to me? Did you understand that? Do they handle landlord complaints? Well, you guys, landlords don't complain. We don't complain. We don't have any problems. We're the minority. They don't give two shits about us. Just saying. Minority. That's us. Landlords are the minority. That's me. Tenants are the majority. That's why they make all the laws protecting them. And if you haven't heard it from me before, I'll tell you right now the why. The state of California was 78% tenant occupied in 2018 before we opened our borders. We are the minority. They are the majority. That's why they make all the laws protecting them, and we're the bad guy. Sorry. Yes, but it is now notoriously, I didn't realize the numbers were so high. And it's getting worse because all the other states are shipping their homeless here. We had 330,000 homeless in LA County in 2018. Now we have over 2 million. Why? Because all the rest of the nations are giving them a one-way bus ticket and $50 cash and dropping them off in Orange County. Orange County then sends them to LA. They're convinced to come here because we have great programs, is what they're told. They get here and they dump them out on the streets. How do I know this? I've talked to them. So while we're pumping gas in LA, I sit in the car and my son pumps the gas. Homeless guy starts talking to him. So he asked him, where are you from? I'm from Colorado. How'd you get here? Well, I went to the county because I lost my job and I needed help. They gave me a one-way bus ticket to Orange County and $50 cash. Orange County then shipped me to downtown LA and here I am. I don't want to be on drugs. Can you help me? Wow. And remember me, I came up with an idea to fix the homelessness problem and it actually makes sense. It would work. But because it makes sense and it would work, we won't implement it. Newsom is evil and he will be running for president. He ruined California. Do the math. I concur with that statement. He's made it impossible for landlords and is just feeding off of the majority vote. He's atrocious. But when you look at it in a different way, he's been sculpted his entire life. I know you guys are. We're all joking. It's bureaucracy and BS. I mean, it is what it is. We can't fix it. We can't change it. We all know about those cars in San Diego when they tried to recall him with all those petitions that they found not recalling him in one vehicle pulled over. Remember that, Val? Nobody talked about that. And he only started singing in our direction to shut us up because he got scared when we started calling him out on his garbage. All right, you guys, I'm getting off of here. I love you all. I will see you next week. Thank you, Patty, for all you do. You are terrific. Oh, thank you. I love all you guys. I couldn't do this if it wasn't for all of you. So thank you. Chef's kiss. You guys are awesome. And if you're going to come to the AGLA trade show, I wasn't joking. Bring me lunch. I will be starving all day. Bye, everybody. I'll see you next week. If you need me, hunt me down. I'm here to help you. Bye.